Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about our feelings of guilt and shame that we often carry after a narcissistic relationship. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers. If you are new to the channel, this channel is all about the narcissist personality disorder, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you overcome narcissistic abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. You might have carried guilt or shame throughout the relationship. Shame for the things that you didn't really want to do but were coercively controlled into doing. Feelings of not being good enough, yet too scared to stand up for what you believe to be right. And the shame from a narcissist manipulating you into believing that you're not worthy or you're not good enough. The guilt that they project, and by blame shifting, they project and they blame shift to make you feel guilty for the things that they actually did to you. Often due to the narcissist projection, blame shifting, gaslighting, silent treatments, we are the ones that end up not feeling worthy and not feeling enough. Guilt is an emotion we have when we have done something wrong, when we have made a wrong choice, and plenty of people make the wrong choices in life. That guilt is usually a signal to learn from our mistake and not do it again. With a narcissist, as they just pass the blame over to other people, they don't recognise that feeling of guilt, so they don't learn not to do it again because they've passed the blame over to somebody else. When you are coming out of a narcissistic relationship, most often you are not only carrying the guilt from your own mistakes, you are carrying the guilt from the narcissist's mistakes, because you are responsible for your own behaviour and you hold yourselves accountable for your own behaviour. A narcissist doesn't do this. They just find a scapegoat to shift the blame onto. Shame is often when we've been humiliated in some way, or we believe we've been stupid, daft, foolish. Being around narcissistic people who feel a need to pull other people down in order to feel better about themselves. People who blame us actually shame us. People who judge us are trying to shame us. People who are invalidating us are trying to shame us due to their own insecurities, due to their own feelings of not being enough. They feel a need to pull others down. They feel a need to humiliate, criticise, judge, invalidate, blame and shame those around them to feel better about themselves. When we don't recognise this, we can absorb their toxic words. When we know what they are doing, recognise that it says more about them than it ever will us. Those who need to pull other people down to feel better about themselves are not the kind of people you want within your life. Their entitlement to pull people down and their lack of empathy to care for those they hurt shows the kind of character they are as a person, not you. During recovery from a narcissistic relationship, those light bulb moments of what you've been through, the unravelling of the narcissist lies, as you discover more and more lies and more of what you have been through with them. As more information comes to light, we can feel guilty for being one of their flying monkeys when we believed their very believable lies, because we didn't have the knowledge or the understanding of narcissism and what they were actually doing to us. We can feel guilty for enabling their behaviour because they tell their lies so convincingly well, and they set people up to fail. They set people up to match their lies. So we can enable a narcissist behaviour, and once we realise what we've been through, we have lots of feelings of guilt to overcome. Because we didn't understand narcissism, because we didn't understand what they were doing to us. Our self-esteem is usually shattered. We usually feel worthless. And you have to release the guilt of your past. Otherwise, it's going to eat into your future. You have to use your present to release that guilt. Realising if you had have known then what you now know, you would have never put yourself in that situation. Wanting to help somebody and seeing your good in them, being loyal to them, being loving, being kind, being sympathetic, being empathetic with them, wanting to help raise them up are all excellent qualities to have in a person. It was never, ever you that wasn't worthy of them, as many narcissists will have you believing that it was you that wasn't worthy. It was never the case. It's the fact that they are not worthy of you. They don't have those same loyalties. They don't have the honesty, and they don't have the respect. They don't deserve you. Narcissists are either unwilling or unable to recognise your worth, or they are envious of your worth, so they have to seek a way to destroy it within you to feel better about the things they do to you. If you'd have known who they indeed are and not who they sold themselves to be, you would have got out of the situation a lot sooner. Part of the characteristics is the fact that they feel entitled, they exploit people, and they lack empathy to care for who they hurt. Therefore, they use many manipulative methods to get people to believe the ideal that the narcissist is selling to them and not see the person the narcissist truly is. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, and once we do have the awareness, it's not to feel guilty for the things we've done or the things we've been through. It's to learn from our past so we don't make the same mistake again. Sometimes it takes a while to learn. When you're having your reality manipulated and gaslighted at every single turn, it takes a while to recognise exactly what you are or have been through. It then takes great courage and great strength to step away from a narcissist's manipulative and threatening behaviour to move on with your life. You have to let go of any feelings of shame that you carry for doing things that you didn't even understand you were doing. You need to find whatever method works for you as a person to release those feelings of guilt and those feelings of shame so that you can move on with your life much happier and find your justice, find your peace. Rebuilding your own self-esteem is one method to achieve this. Self-esteem, which can most often have been programmed through your childhood as well as adulthood. Most parents aren't consciously aware of building people's self-esteem. Most parents had their own self-esteem destroyed as they were growing up. And when we grow with low self-esteem, we can want to help make others feel better about who they are as a person. We can make excuses for other people's behaviour, and that's without the narcissist gaslighting and lying to us about their behaviour. We can also make excuses. We can think that they're just having a bad day. If only I'd have said it differently to them. They've had such a difficult past. They just need a little bit more time. They just need a little bit more understanding. They will change. If only I'd have done things differently. They're not that bad. It doesn't happen that often. A lot of things are programmed into us by the narcissists and their gaslighting and their lies themselves. As our self-esteem can be quite low, and as we want the best for them, their excuses become very valid within our minds for their behaviour. And abuse is abuse, narcissistic personality disorder or not. There is no excuse to abuse other people. NPD is the reason behind their behaviour. It's never to excuse their behaviour. When we've got low self-esteem, we often don't recognise we've got low self-esteem, and we don't often recognise that people are mistreating us or why people are mistreating us. And narcissists are very good at reinforcing that self-doubt within our own minds. Most of us carry some form of self-doubt, which is why you need people that are going to back you up, that are going to push you to achieve your best. Narcissistic people are envious of other people's achievements, so they will either take them on board as their own achievements or try to destroy your achievements. They will say things like, you only got that because of me, or they will tell you that you can't do that, or do you really think you should be doing that? They always find a way to bring other people down. You might not be aware on a conscious level that you have low self-esteem, and it can come from childhood, it can come from parents, it can come from friends, it can come from teachers, it can come from anybody in your life that has criticised, humiliated, shamed or blamed you at some point throughout your childhood without you realising what was truly going on. They might not have even done it intentionally. When people put you down, whether they do it intentionally or not, you can start to underestimate your own worth. We all have to learn, we all have to start somewhere. So for example, if your handwriting isn't the greatest, instead of receiving encouragement from that teacher or your parent, if your parent shamed you, if your teacher shamed you, trying to, usually because they're the ones that are trying to help you, they're just not doing it in the way that's helpful towards you, they're doing it in a way that they've been taught to do it. This can all get us to doubt and question ourselves. There is parents and teachers that do it intentionally. Most often it's just how they were taught as a child, and the pattern continues with generation from generation. When narcissistic people come along is when it starts to become dangerous. You might find that you believe you're just attracted to that kind of person, or that kind of person is attracted to you. Most often when you've got low self-esteem, narcissists are very attractive because their arrogance comes across as confidence. Their belief that they're special can bring out that arrogance within themselves. We can look up to them thinking they've got it together when they are the person out of many that has least got it together. They're often attracted to us because they're envious of the qualities that we have, and they seek to destroy those qualities within us because they don't want people doing better than who they are as a person. They might not trust people, but they are going to go for loyal people so that the narcissist doesn't get abandoned. However, they lack empathy, so they'll happily abandon people. One way to rebuild your self-esteem is to start writing down all those negative thoughts you have. So when you think, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I can't do that, I'm silly, I'm daft, I'm forgetful. Who isn't forgetful? I'm ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too thin. We are all different, we are all unique, we all have our own qualities. And even people that recognise their qualities, they still have to work. If somebody is good at maths, they still have to work at it. It doesn't just appear. They have to learn, they have to go through the process. If someone's good at playing a musical instrument, they still have to learn how to do it. If someone is good at singing, they still have to train their voice. It takes daily practice, and often because we don't see that practice, we just see the success, we can then put ourselves down rather than working hard to achieve for ourselves. We are all individuals, we all have our own unique qualities, we all have the things that we are passionate about that we can build upon. And once we start building on those things, once we start learning those things, once we start seeing we can do them, we can start rebuilding our self-esteem, understanding that everybody makes a mistake. It's a part of life, and trying to laugh at our own mistakes rather than judging ourselves too harshly. especially when narcissistic people are around, because they will humiliate you on a mistake. However, if you can laugh about your own mistake, they can't humiliate you over it. Any negative thoughts within your mind, what you then need to do is start writing down the person who put that thought within your mindset, recognizing it's not your thinking, that's what somebody else put there. Because often after we leave a narcissistic relationship, our inner critic turns into that narcissist and is putting us down as they would, as that is what we are used to. There is also people put themselves down for various reasons. There is those who feel like it's a way of being humble. They don't want to sound too obnoxious, so they put themselves down in order not to feel obnoxious. There's those who put themselves down to try and make others feel better. There's those who put themselves down for attention. Narcissistic people will put themselves down to gain attention. There's those who put themselves down because their subconscious has been programmed to put themselves down. There is many different reasons why people put themselves down. It's finding the root cause to your reason so that you can build on it. If your root cause is because you've been humiliated, shamed and put down by other people to the point you now talk to yourself in that way, writing down how you put yourself down and who put that thought in your mind so that you can start to think for yourself clearly again, as well as taking action, as well as working on things, as well as recognizing that we make mistakes and learning on the go to give us the confidence that we are capable of doing things. If another human being can do something that you would like to do with dedication, time and effort, you are capable of doing that too, as long as it's something that you want for you. Recognize when those toxic thoughts come in, and instead of beating yourself up, start throwing those thoughts out. If you want to change something, you've got to recognize it within yourself and then take action to change it for yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have got to do it yourself. You can get the ideas, you can get the tips, you can get the help, you can get the support, but you have got to be willing to do it for yourself, not other people. You have got to want to become who you want to be for you, not for other people. Just like other people's opinions of you aren't for you, you define you. You define you for you, not for other people. When you catch yourself talking negatively, you've got to start telling yourself that this is no longer how you are going to speak to yourself. When you catch yourself speaking negatively towards yourself, imagine that being someone you really care for. If you have children, imagine speaking to your children in that way. If you're close with your parents or your partner, imagine speaking to those in that way. You wouldn't do it, so you have to stop speaking to yourself in that way. Whether the narcissist was your parent, your partner, a boss, a friend, them speaking to you like that is wrong. So you speaking to yourself like that isn't wrong, it's programmed into us, but it doesn't help us. So when you hear yourself doing it to yourself, imagine you're speaking to somebody you love in that way, and you would stop yourself, and then imagine how you would speak to somebody you would love. So if you're having one of those days, or if you're having one of those moments and you're getting frustrated and you feel yourself building up and talking negatively to yourself, imagine that being somebody you cared about. How would you tell them to handle that situation? You have to become your own best friend. The more you stop talking to yourself in a negative way, the more you'll no longer allow other people to talk to you in a negative way. The more you recognize what people are saying and what people are doing, the more you will observe their behavior, observe their words, and no longer absorb their behavior. If we are talking to ourselves in the way someone else spoke down to us, we often, our minds, our conscious and our subconscious don't differentiate the two until we bring it to our attention. It's part of your human needs. It's part of feeling significant. If you are constantly putting yourself down, you are going to feel very insignificant in the world, and you are going to accept less than you are worth. So you do have to give yourself that significance, not to be superior to others, but to talk to yourself how you talk to other people. Love and connection, connecting to who you are as a person. Hating on yourself just because somebody else trained you to is not going to get you anywhere other than misery and unhappiness, and accepting love that isn't really love from people who don't want the best for you. Connecting with yourself and loving yourself the right way, loving you how you love those around you, developing your inner voice and learning to love yourself for who you are as a person. Recognize the things that you do for other people and that you don't deserve the treatment narcissistic people put you through. Learning your values and your beliefs helps with this, as it learns to create your boundaries, and then you have some more certainty as to who you are as a person. Learning your passions, learning the things that you enjoy doing in life. Get back out there and start doing all the things that you wanted to do that the narcissist told you you couldn't do, and start learning how to do them for you. Fill your need for uncertainty by taking those chances, stepping out of your comfort zone that is often not that comfortable, so you can reach your true potential, to discover who you are, to discover your likes and dislikes again, to discover your passions and your dreams again. Contributing to your mind in a positive way, finding the people that lift your spirits. They don't walk away from those who drain your spirits. Find the motivation to help you get out of bed in the morning. Find the ways that you can contribute to yourself and those around you in a healthy manner. Your life begins when you start taking action to talk to yourself the right way, to achieve the things that you do deserve to achieve. And it's not narcissistic. Narcissists do this, and it's all about the intent behind the behaviour. With good intentions, there is no wrong way or right way to live your life. Narcissists pull other people down to make themselves feel better. You're pulling yourself up so that you can be at your best, to give your best, to make those around you feel better. Never again accept less than you deserve. If you wouldn't treat somebody in a way they're treating you, that person is not for you. We all make mistakes. We can all give people a chance. Once they've made a mistake, that is our warning that we are entering the danger zone. We need to be on guard. If they make the same mistake again, hurt us again, this is our lesson that we need to walk away from that person. If we don't walk away from that person, they ultimately usually will make the same mistake a third time, and they are just taking advantage of us. And there is no excuse to exploit or take advantage of other people. If anyone has any ideas or tips or what helped them rebuild their self-confidence, their self-esteem after a narcissistic relationship, please do add that into the comments. As again, it's an individual process from person to person. Confidence is something that you build within yourself by stepping out of your comfort zone and proving yourself that you can do it. Quite often when we start, we do suck at things, which knocks our confidence, and we have to keep going and keep going and keep battling until we get to where we want to be. Life is about growing. If you're not growing, you are So keep developing who you are as a person. Keep working on becoming a better version of yourself. Remember, the only person you are ever in competition with is yourself. I shall add in the description the link for the sponsored link for BetterHelp. I shall also add the online courses to give you more understanding of narcissism and recovery from things like anxiety and trauma bonding. I shall add in the description the video for limiting beliefs and the video for gaslighting, because it is often a narcissist gaslighting that gets us questioning ourselves in the first place. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope everyone has an amazing day. Bye.